Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today I have something different for you. I had a request from another simmer on Facebook to complete a huge old English manor. So that is this. We started building, well, I started with the shape all of the manor already because one, it took me forever to figure out the shape, and I felt like that was just not necessary for the build, especially the diagonal area. Oh my gosh, that took literally forever to get right so that it actually fit nicely, like on the side of the building there, or like on the side of the house on the right side. Right side. Um, so yeah, this is on the biggest lot in, well, I guess one of the biggest lots in Windenburg. This is where the I don't know how to say their name, but like Dominic Fires and Moira, however you say her name. I'm really not doing too well right now. Um, yeah, so I kicked them out and decided to build on this lot. So yeah, this was a request by another simmer, and she basically told me that she wanted to do, I think she wanted to do a legacy challenge, and her founder sim was going to be inheriting like old money. So it really needed to look old-fashioned, and I kind of tried to model it after, I mean, I did a couple of YouTube searches for the outside, but I tried to model the interior off of um, like an English nobleman's house, or like even kind of like, I mean, some of the rooms are pretty ornate, kind of like royalty. I couldn't do that everywhere, and I mean, but based on what we have in the game, it's limited what we can do. Like one of our requests was to include portraits, which of course I definitely would have. But I think I might have had to repeat a few times because we really literally just ran out and like nothing else is appropriate to put on the walls in this house. Um, so this is me trying to put down chimneys. I cut out a lot of this, a lot, because the placement of the chimney just wasn't right, and actually a few times because when I changed a couple things along the way, I had to adjust the chimneys or the height or whatever. So I cut out a lot of that. By the way, this build took hours and hours and hours. As you can probably imagine, by the time we're done with it, this video is just going to be the exterior. And it's 27 minutes sped up this video. So I wanted to actually see if I could like unspeed up the video and see how long this actually took, but I don't have time for that right now because my daughter is sleeping, and I'm hoping that I can finish this recording before she wakes up because that would be awesome. Because I really have a full day and I want to be able to get this out by tonight on YouTube. So um, as I sort of alluded to, there's going to be multiple videos for this build. I asked in one of the groups on Facebook if people would be interested in watching multiple videos for one build. Well, obviously, it's a mansion. And I got a bunch of responses, and they were all yes, that they would be interested in watching. So here we are. I also felt like so much work went into this that I definitely need to share it. I mean, it literally took. I, I'm gonna have to figure it out for the next video. Um, Definitely multiple days of doing this, um, and a lot of hours, a lot of hours. Um, so, oh, that's my dog. I always try to lock them in the bedroom while I'm doing this so that they don't hear that, but I'm tired and I totally forgot. So, lovely. Why do dogs always have to shake out like that? And I feel like they always have to do it right in front of my daughter's door, too. Wonderful. So I'm watching her on the monitor and she's standing up. No, she's laying back down. I don't know, it's 50-50 whether we're gonna make it through this. But anyway, enough about my life. Um, So, like I said, I think I did on screen change the, yeah, so well, I extended that diagonal because it was just not working for the roof. I actually extended it like twofold on the back there and then on the front here. I think this is the final um, uh, way. I don't know what to, that it ended up being. That was just bad. I really kind of need to edit that out, but I probably won't. Yeah, so I think I tried to um, add a chimney there too, but I ended up moving it back to where it was. Um, and I didn't need a chimney in that room. The bottom floor that actually ends up being, well, you know what? I'm not going to give it away. I guess you can imagine what sort of rooms would be in an Old English manor, but there are a few surprises on the inside, so I guess I'll wait until we get to that area. So I wanted to use these little, I don't even know what they're called, um, like awning window type pieces. I've never used them before, and they came with the get together pack, so we've had them for a while, but I've never used them. I actually don't think I ended up using them in the end because they're just kind of like too small. It didn't really fit um, what I was going. I mean, right now they look kind of good, but I think I ended up changing. I ended up changing these like I don't know what you want to. They're not towers, but the parts of the building that are more prominent here in the front. I keep calling it a building. It's a house. It's a really big house. It's like really big. Um, So I ended up changing the size a few times just to fit different things. Like I moved the fireplace from being in the front, and I think, yeah, I ended up adding more here because I wanted to put a bigger roof on because it didn't make sense in the back. I think in the back I don't end up needing that little smaller roof, but yeah, I think I ended up removing those little two awning things because once the roof pieces got bigger, they looked too small. I think that's probably what happened. Is see, and I have to adjust the pieces in the back too to fit the size of the roof. Like it's crazy. I think I was just listening to yeah, the Sim Supply yesterday, and he was saying he'll he does the walls and then the roof, but then sometimes you have to adjust the walls to fit the roof. But it was interesting because the video I was watching of his was a no mistakes build. So once you place something down, you have to leave it. Like you can't adjust, you can like rotate stuff or change the size or whatever, but you cannot move it from where it's placed on the grid. I think that's cool, and maybe once I'm a little more experienced, I might try to do that. There are definitely, he has a lot of different challenges, like build challenges, on his channel if you want to go check it out. I might try to do some of them at some point. Again, maybe once I get a little more experienced. I definitely think I got a good deal of experience out of this build, but I'm still just starting. So now I'm just trying to figure out the windows. The one picture that I chose off of Google that I was trying to kind of emulate the front, I didn't do it exactly, but really I liked the diagonal piece on that build, so I was trying to emulate that part of it at least. But they did have a circular window on the front like entryway area. So I was trying to see if I could make that look good. I think I did end up putting it back, but only one. I think there was a time where I tried to put like three because I have like two roof pieces there, but it didn't work. Yeah, I have to fix the chimneys again. Wonderful, right? I don't know why they like you can see when they get to certain areas they get darker. Um, and I'm not sure. I almost want to say they ended up being that way at the end of the build, but they're in the right place. Like they're darker, but they look okay. Like they're actually placed right. But I did end up, you'll see at the end, I ended up putting like three of them in a row to fit the three, sorry, the three grid tiles that we have there because for some reason I think I ended up moving the roof or something and then they wouldn't sit nice like this anymore. Um, and I also changed the height of some, I think I might have, yeah, I already did that. So that's why that created that problem. So now I was trying to do something with the roofing to make it look like it's not standing out from the, um, like from the rest of the house. You know, there's like space, but I cut it out. It ended up not working, so I just built a room on both of these chimneys instead, and that's why I ended up using three technical like chimney pieces instead because it just didn't fit. Right. So, what else can I tell you about the build? At the end of this, there will be a four-car garage, a pool, and a tennis court. And I'm really proud of the tennis court because you can actually play tennis in The Sims, and it's purely for aesthetics, but I was proud of myself that I figured out a way to do it because obviously you can't buy it. I had to use, I think it was a fencing tool, but it's like super low to the ground to create the like white perimeter lines of the court. And then I used just like a glass fence for the like netting area. That could be better. But honestly, like if you look at it zoomed out, it actually looks pretty cool. So I'm pretty proud of that. Um, which might be stupid. I'm sure somebody else has figured it out by now, but I didn't look up any videos to figure out how to do it. So anyway, so I cut out of the video that I changed the like stone on the outside of this a few times because this looked a little light to me, but it was like the picture that I was using as an inspiration. It was like a light gray stone. It wasn't exactly like this, but again, we're in The Sims. We have limited swatches that we can do. So I ended up sticking with this, I think, yeah. And so now I'm just replacing the um, those little awning pieces. I think it was because they were, I tried to move them and they didn't go in the right spot or something. Um, so yeah, that's the windows. Oh, I ended up using that bigger piece there. I don't even remember that. So, yep, I'm just trying to place windows on the other parts of the house. Normally, I don't do windows. And there she goes. I don't know if you heard that, but she definitely woke up. So I made it like halfway through the video. Well, she's not crying. So let's see how long this lasts. Because this is not even the time. Well, 7:10. She usually wakes up at like 7:30 ish, 7:45. But I've been taking the dogs out earlier in the morning, so I don't know why she's been like waking up earlier because of that. So anyway, I'm just placing the stairs. I did the stone stairs, obviously, and it actually matched pretty well here with my exterior. So at first I wanted to do a half wall to kind of separate the like landscaping, but as you can see, I can't. For some reason, the game won't let me extend it all the way to the foundation, which was pretty frustrating. I think I cut a little bit of that out because I was trying to like do it a few ways. So this was my solution, my temporary solution to doing that. So then I decided, well, maybe I should just do a hedges fence instead. And I had to see, I had to finagle that a little bit to get it to move to where I wanted it to. And then for some reason, I could use that hedge fence to go to the, well, I don't think it went all the way to the foundation on that other side, but at least it was able to go to where my big hedge was, and I was able to close it off that way. I'm not sure if those big hedges actually stay there. I might have been able to close it off with the bushes that I do later, but I'm not sure. Yeah, those bushes that I just put down, I actually end up putting down like around the entire perimeter, like around the sides and the back. So I'm not sure if those big hedges actually stay anywhere. Oh yeah, I was trying to pick like one piece and yep, there we go. So it's actually able to get rid of those hedges. Let me turn this down. I don't know if you can hear her. But she's just babbling to herself, so she's fine. Yep, so because of the diagonal, I had to make like two pieces to be able to close that off because it did not want to go there at all. And I tried that for a few times and I was like, nope, that's fine, whatever. I'm gonna fill it in anyway. Um, I should note though that the landscaping for this, I'm trying to get into landscaping more. I really don't. Um, this is testing my creative ability for sure because I used to be really creative, doing different things all the time, like writing songs and poems and um, like fan fiction. I used to write fan fiction for like Harry Potter. I think I only did Harry Potter. Um, but I haven't really, and did crafts and like all this other stuff, but I haven't really done anything like super creative in years. Like years when I sat down and thought about it. So I'm really trying to tap back into my creative side. But anyway, that is the long-winded description of saying I'm not very good at landscaping, just because I'm struggling to be creative again. So, but on this build, I wanted the landscaping to be very clean and crisp and minimal. So I tried to do just the ornate stuff and nothing like super like crazy with flowers or whatever. Like it would take the gardeners enough time to just like trim these hedges. So I actually like, I don't know, I think they're called these friezes. That added some detail to this very ornate house. I feel like I'm going to say ornate a lot, especially once we move on to the interior. Um, but yeah, these were really cool. I ended up putting, no, it didn't stay like that. I just ended up putting like a little foundation there and moving the room back because that didn't look right. I think I did that on the inside too, on the other side, because I do like the freezes, if that's how you say it, but they do glitch in this, well, or if the developers planned this, it's not my favorite thing, but the freezes also go like on the inside in some places when you place them on the outside, and there's no way to, well, not that I know of. If you guys know, please leave it in the comments, but I am not familiar with how to get rid of them on the inside and not on the outside. So I ended up having to place like more of them on the inside to kind of like make it look even. But like I said, that created a little like square shape of the frieze on the inside too. So I put, it's kind of like, looks like a little balcony there, and I put like one statue on it to kind of make it like a feature piece. So it's not just this weird like overhang over the stairs on the inside. So yeah, I'm just trying to do a little bit of, I did the landscaping for the front. I don't think there's anything else. Um, I'm also getting into using the terrain paint. But the problem is I don't have a very precise hand with the mouse. So it's kind of hard for me to do these like shapes. But so I cut out a bunch of video there when I was doing the front because it took me a little bit to get like a decent shape that I was at least um, somewhat satisfied with. So yeah, now I'm building the garage. So for those of you that don't know, because I know there's a bunch of my friends on the channel that don't actually play The Sims, um, you can't, there aren't functional cars in the game. There really aren't cars per se. There are car toys that you can size up. So that's what I did here. Again, it's just for aesthetics. I mean, I don't normally do a lot of things that are just for aesthetics that aren't functional because usually it just wastes space and or money. But first of all, there's unlimited money for this because this guy that's gonna live here is like probably a billionaire of old what oil money or something. um, and because it's such like a detailed um, place, I felt like we and it's huge. We could definitely have some things that were not necessarily functional and just for aesthetics, and it would definitely add to it rather than detract something from it. So yeah, I just put a few different car. I mean, we don't have a lot of car options because again, they're toys. So I just put a few cars. I think it's like two cars and then two different colors. So yeah, I was trying to figure out this driveway. Please let me know if you think the driveway looks stupid. I mean, the girl who I made this video for, she liked the build and didn't complain about the driveway. So I'm hoping that works okay. That's kind of my fix for the garage doors since we don't have garages. I think that that looks pretty good. So yep, I'm just trying to fix the I'm adding the stone on the outside, and I think there's probably another time that I try to fix the driveway, quote unquote driveway, the terrain paint on there. Huh, I can't believe my daughter's actually not like, she looks like she might go back to sleep. Well, this is a fun challenge, trying to finish before she actually wakes up slash, like really wakes up and gets up. Um, so yeah, here is the start of my tennis court. This is like my little gem, I feel like. And again, I might be totally overplaying it, and I'm sure a bunch of other people have figured this out years ago, but it's probably not an original idea. But again, like it's in the execution, right? I didn't look up how to do this. So just I'm really bad at tooting my own horn. I never do it. So I'm just trying to figure out what to use for the netting. I feel like that would probably be the best, but I just wasn't happy with it in the end, so I ended up choosing the glass. I know that that's not realistic, but I just felt like it looked better. So I had to move the pool, I think, over a couple times. Um, One, because I wanted it, it was so close to the other fencing that I wanted it to, I felt like it should be the same fence. And then also, I needed to build the back patio, so I had to move, yeah, like right now, I'm moving it over to the left. Or no, well, I moved it down first and then I moved over to the left so that it's all touching. That looks better. I mean, I'm sure normally you would have like different areas on a lot of a mansion that would be more secluded, but this is a 64 by 64 and the house still took up most of it. So um, I'm happy that I actually had like any space on the outside to work with. I feel like the build kind of got away from me a little bit. I mean, I was told that this like totally exceeded what the girl that requested this was looking for, so I don't know if that means I made it too big. But I felt like once I built the whole exterior, I did feel like I made it too big because then I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I furnish all these rooms? How do I make, like, what am I gonna do with all of them? And the layout as you see it now is not the way that it stays. Like on the inside, you can see that there are walls on the inside. I think that's just because that's the way I like placed the rooms for the outside. So that's not the way that they stay. Yeah, so now I'm just putting those bushes down. I actually ended up using them all the way around, like I said. I'm wondering if I should have used the straight hedges like all the way around for a more cohesive look, but like here's the thing. The front of the house, like when you're in the front, you can only see the front because it's so massive, right? The back of the house, you can see because of the way, like especially on that left, well now it's the left side, um, or the right side. Now that we're looking, I switched the camera. Um, yeah, the diagonal side, I should just call it. When you're in the back, you can see that side because of the shape. So I figured these ones need to be the same in the back. Um, but I liked these like bushes. I don't know. I didn't feel like using like those hedges all the way around. Plus with the fencing, it's a lot more difficult to get the placement, like even with the Alt key, um, particularly on the diagonal. So it really was better to just use these bushes. I was able to use like the longer ones for most of it, but I had to fill in with the individual bushes in some areas. And also liked how these bushes hung over the stairs there a little bit. I felt like that's realistic. Um, you know what? We're actually only have like a minute and a half left of the video, so she is awake now, but she still looks tired. But she'll be fine. She'll be fine. I'm watching her. She's not crying. She was just like making noise a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm just trying to finish up. I chose, I think it was called like a dragon stone tile for the pool area and my patios or the front deck area. And again, with the terrain paint, like I tried to use a mixture of the circular and the square to get it to look more symmetrical. It's very hard. I have like minor OCD about certain things, so it's very hard to not have like good mouse control and make everything even. So I decided to use the squares to try to make it look better. I think it ended up looking pretty good for someone that's not really well versed in using the terrain paint. Um, and I think, honestly, I just have to place the windows. That should be the end of it. So, I mean the windows in the back of the build, sorry. But yeah, I only have like 20 seconds left of the video. So I appreciate you coming to check out the video. Oh, look, I tried to change the exterior again. I appreciate you watching all the way through. And if you like the build, please give it a like and leave a comment and consider subscribing so you can see the rest of the house. Thanks a lot. Bye.